Hello, welcome back to the Bald Book Geek. My name is William James. How are all of you? I'm making a book video today. I know there's not many of those on my channel, but I love books, I love reading, and I love talking about books and reading. So, let's start the wrap-up. It's been a weird few reading weeks. So, on top of that, here's a word from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by Mountaineer brand for all your bearded shaving and body washing and manly needs. Discount code down below. They're an all-natural company. Links and info, as I said, below. Really great products, and I use them daily. So, link down below. Some of these are rereads, some of these are new books, but I'm going to start with this little pile in front of me and go from there. A couple of these I don't think you've ever heard of. So, first things first, I reread the Mammoth Book of Westerns. I love this book. I love Westerns. I love that kind of Americana anyway. These are a mix of classic Westerns, but the Mammoth Book series are always worth looking out for. I found this on eBay because it's one of those books I've been looking for because some of these shorts are not available particularly well. There's everyone in here, some really well-known classic people, which is nice, and there's something in here for everyone. So yeah, great adventures, some social political commentary, and so on. Just really well written and really fun. Again, like I said, I adore westerns, so the Mammoth Book of Westerns and Titan were really good to me, and they sent me this Penny Blade. This book isn't out yet, as you can see. This is a great fantasy novel. Dark, brooding, and definitely more political fantasy with sort of more fantastical elements. Its nearest relative would be like Game of Thrones with more action. It's quite actiony. It's a really great book. Definitely a 4 out of 5 on this one. Titan, thank you. I love good fantasy, and to get good fantasy is brilliant. I don't want to say too much because it's not out yet, but I would recommend looking out for it yourself. If you guys are interested, you can pause the video and read the back. But Exile, Mercenary, Lover, and Monster, Penny Blade are just brilliant. A little bit of horror elements to this too, which I adore. So I'm going to count these as next two books by the same writer, and no one will know who they are. Mary Comrade, I've talked about her books before. She's only published 4 novels. 3 are fantasy and 1 sort of a biography. All really good. And I owned her books for a long time, and I made the mistake of getting rid of the paperbacks, and I found them in hardback. This is epic fantasy. It's nearest relative, Lord of the Rings, that kind of fantasy. But do you not just love fantasy novels of this era? These covers are beautiful. And prime example with the sequel, actually. I mean, seriously, look how gorgeous that is. But yeah, really strong, great writing, great big epic fantasy, and definitely one to read. Her books are available in ebook more readily than paperback or hardback, because these seems to have just vanished, which is a real shame. Although the ebooks have terrible covers. I genuinely hope, we get more from her at some point or another. Anyone here big fan of Sons of Anarchy? Boom Studios do a series based on Sons of Anarchy, and they did kind of a prequel series which takes place a decade or so before. And this series is kind of an in-between. It takes place between seasons 3 and 4, so it fills in the story gaps between them. These are good, and this is a bind-up of a few of the issues. I own one of them, but I've read the others. But I will be rebuying. Well, I say rebuying, I got them from my library, but I want to own the other copies of this because I think there's 4 volumes now. Just really good, strong writing, beautiful artwork, by the way. And they really do paint the picture. It's a gorgeous look. It's gritty. It's quite dark, and it matches the feel of the show just brilliantly. And throughout this, it doesn't hold back. So if you love Sons of Anarchy, do check this one out, please. And yeah, the next book on this list is Dave Grohl, The Storyteller. So I'm a big Nirvana, Foo Fighters fan anyway, and I've been reading a lot of books. I've had this for a long time. I didn't get around to reading it when it first came out. I started and then I had to stop because of stuff that was going on and stress sort of behind the scenes. But yeah, I love them. I would put this quite happily next to like Bruce Springsteen's book. And it's really no-holds-barred type writing. I like that feeling, conversational writing. And Dave Grohl is a fascinating man, a very talented man, who I'm very jealous of because I don't have any musical bones in my body. So, there we go. Do check his book out, and do give it a good read. I would recommend it. And the final book on this list is Parasites Eve. I've talked about this on my channel before. The video game, the famous PlayStation 1 video game, is a sequel to this. This is scientific body horror. It's quite it's quite sciencey. It can be a little long-winded, and this is, oddly enough, the most valuable book that I own, and I'm slightly obsessed with this cover. I'm looking on the camera there. But it's a beautiful book, and definitely, if you want a good body horror, do check it out. Parasites Eve is one of those books that is extremely valuable. I'm not kidding. This is frighteningly expensive if you want to buy it in hardback or paperback even. So I'd recommend buying the ebook just because of cost. And it's this very dark, it's very Japanese. For want of a better expression, it's very Japanese, but it will keep you on your toes. And I genuinely love that kind of writing. So tell me what you think in the comments below. All of my links and info are in the doobly-doo as well. And if you guys want to keep up with me and keep in touch, hit the little bell icon. I don't use Twitter that much, so I will say I would recommend checking out my community feed or my Instagram if you really want to keep an eye on the books that I'm reading. So as always, I will bid you a goodbye.